Steve, what room is that? That looks interesting as hell. Like
Yeah,
it got a lot of
man.
art.
You
Like
got
where you at right
you got
now?
to tell us what's happening behind you, brother.
The main part. So in this room right here, it's a space. I kept it open like a studio. Um, yes, the artwork on the wall. I did the artwork during COVID, but I have 8 computers in here where people could come and use the computers. I let people host the space for free, so it's like a launch pad for products. So I teach people product development, but try to let people use the space for free, but they don't have to spend money on spaces to help them just get businesses going. I think that's like the definition of Pan-Africanism. And my
Man.
contribution to the culture is to create dope spaces where people can do dope. I want to say dope shit out of them, but I know I'm gonna
Yeah.
Yeah,
watch my
you can
language
Yeah,
say
here.
you
you
can
can
But go
say
say
it,
ahead.
bro.
that.
You can say that.
Yeah,
Say it.
yeah, yeah. So I had the space. This is a black think tank. It consists of 2 buildings. So this is one of them, and this was actually the first building built in the Cebu Pan African Village, where 1,000 Black Americans bought land. So it's
Wow.
a project here.
So I got to ask you, man. You said a buzzword to me. You're able to allow people to use the space for free. As a nonprofit guy, I see the value in that, but then I also realize the effort that it takes for you to provide the resources to the people for free also means you have to do a lot of legwork on your end to keep that going. So how are you able to keep that space open for them to be able to be to be free for them?
That's a beautiful question, bro. First, man, it's just you got to trust and have faith that you're doing your purpose, right? You live in your purpose and you're passionate about what you're doing. And what my strategy was, yeah, I even built these buildings before I built my own house. And so my strategy was attract your energy. I don't do no grant writing. I don't fill out no applications. I never do Zoom either. I haven't done a Zoom in like 6 years. And
Wow.
so I don't meet with nobody. I don't do any of that. I just attract energy. Whatever comes my way while I'm doing the work, I'm supposed to get. So while I was doing that, creating the space, I didn't know how it was going to happen. Even people was like, Steve, why would you build an NGO first before the business on the ground or your own house? I said, I need to attract energy. It's like, you guys over there, so I can make this reference. It's like I'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies.
Mm.
So I'm gonna attract 3 or 4 heavy hitters that believe in my work because they see the action that I'm doing, not me talking or filling out some paperwork, but they can see my vision through my work and they'll get behind me. So I end up having partnerships from different nonprofit 501(c)(3)s in America that pay me stipends just to be a partner with me. I don't work for them. I don't do Excel sheets. I don't tell them what I do with the money. That's all part of the agreement. They just believe in me and trust that I'm doing stuff for the people, and the work is evident because of that.
Man, you saying some real powerful stuff, and I think you are a great example of not having to put on or sell yourself or whatever in order to get the mission accomplished. And I'm major about that, like really being your authentic self and not trying to go outside of yourself or pushing to go outside of yourself to get the goal accomplished. You don't have to do that. Like I'm really a major believer on be you and whatever that way. If you are authentically you, then you know that whatever has come your way is what God meant for you to have in the first place. Because if you step outside of that, then you're attracting stuff that you may not be. You open yourself to attract everything, and it may not be stuff that is supposed to be for you. But you have stepped out and you've made like a deliberate decision to say, nah, I'm just gonna do me and focus on the mission. And whatever comes in my hands is what's supposed to be in my hands, and I'm gonna make well out of that. And I think that's very commendable, man.
Yeah, no,
Appreciate it. But
that's
also,
real.
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
Nah, you got it. You got it.
No, I was about to say, man, part of that was just kind of a life strategy too. Moving here was finding my purpose and passion. But later on in the story, to me, it was like I wanted to fight for freedom. So my goal was even at 36, 37, I'm 42 now, but at 36, 37, I said, I don't want no bills. I want to be able to talk and say what I want and not fear the consequence. I don't
Come
want
on.
no bills in my life. So even when I started building, it was like I got solar panels. It's a thing called a borehole. It's a water system. And so I'm off the grid. And I want to be able to live a life of comfort where I'm able to wake up every day doing what I love to do and not have that thing over my head like rent, things where you got to sometimes compromise and then you end up compromising your work, your art,
Yeah.
your passion, your craft. And I want to have, and to me, that was a tool of freedom, was get to the freedom, Steve, get to the freedom. And so everything I do is built on not trying to convince people, but just attract who you're supposed to be with. Everybody ain't for you. I'm not here to convince somebody. I'm not here to sell something. It was more of a concept of this is what I have, this is what I do, this is what I love. Take it or take it. You know, and it
No.
was like, and it's beauty in that because then you
Yeah.
naturally working with people that you love and you're not doing something or waking up miserable doing something you have to do instead of doing what you want to do.
No, I think that's powerful because, like what you were saying, with this being like a Pan African concept, I think a lot of times we value money so much that a lot of times the people who have the money are contra. They don't believe in Pan Africanism. They actually want to repress Pan Africanism as much as possible. So the fact that you're doing what you're doing is like you kind of have to do it in a way where you're gonna attract people who believe in that vision. And I love what you were saying about freedom because freedom, I think people don't prioritize freedom enough. We prioritize money so much that we're willing to become overpaid slaves, you know, figuratively, because we work for something that doesn't align with our mission and doesn't align with freedom because we so hell bent on getting to the bag, is what they say in America.
Yeah.
So like you're doing things the right way. And then that concept of not having bills. I don't think anybody in America or most people in America or in the Western society can't even comprehend living without bills. Like we live in a very capitalistic society, but you're able to live without bills, and you're doing it in a. You said what was that village you said Seku, where like is a lot of Black Americans.
The area is called the Cebu. It's in the central region of Ghana.
Okay,
Ghana, West
Cebu.
Africa. So just to let the audience know, yeah, and Cebu is the central region. It's right next to Cape Coast, which used to be the capital of Ghana, where the slave dungeons are located. So the first slave dungeons, when white Jesus was first brought to Africa, it's about 30 minutes from me,
Wow.
where the door of no return is at.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow.